got contenders, pretenders, MVP candidates, and a rookie class that's already making serious noise. But we have to start at the top. Oklahoma City came out hot and looked like the best team in basketball. Clip, it's Smith. SGA stepped back. Sweet stuff from the MVP. The Thunder somehow started even more dominant than last season, when they posted the largest scoring margin in NBA history at 12.9 points per game. And when it comes to record book type of starts, OKC is already rubbing shoulders with the greatest teams ever. By going 24-1 out the gate, the Thunder tied the 2015-16 Golden State Warriors for the best 25-game start in NBA history. That Warriors team opened 24-0 before losing Game 25, then went on to win 29 of its first 30. When a team wins 24 of its first 25 games and does it largely without an all-NBA player in Jalen Williams, alarms start going off around the league. Through the first 25 games, the Thunder were absolutely manhandling the league. They still own the best record in basketball and are hands down the best defensive team, ranking first in defensive efficiency and allowing the fewest points per game. Offensively, they're right there too. Second in points per game, fifth in offensive efficiency. But this past week, forced the defending champions to confront an uncomfortable truth. Once can be a fluke, twice might be coincidence. 3 times? That's a pattern. In the marquee matchup of the Christmas slate, the San Antonio Spurs took down the champs 117-102, handing OKC its first home loss of the season, and its third loss to San Antonio in just 13 days. Put it in perspective, the Thunder lost their first 3 games of the season by a combined 9 points. They lost their last 2 games to the Spurs by a combined 35. Even the most optimistic Spurs fans probably didn't see this coming. A 5-0 start with Wemby looking like he leveled up again, then incredibly, a 9-3 stretch without Victor, powered by De'Aaron Fox and the young backcourt of Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle. When it comes to battling the best team in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder have lost 5 games all season. 3 of them came against the San Antonio Spurs. Victor is easing back in, Fox looks as good as ever, Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson look revitalized, and the so-called Slash Brothers have become one of the best young guard duos in the league. San Antonio is leaning into modern NBA math, crashing the offensive glass, limiting turnovers, forcing mistakes to manufacture extra possessions. And it works. The clearest example? The masterpiece they put together on Christmas Day. Clip, off the wide action. Wemby pulls the 3, got IT. Their 23rd win in 30 games. The Spurs built a double-digit lead in the second quarter, and the Thunder never got closer than 7 the rest of the night. De'Aaron Fox led with 29 points. Wemby added 19 and 11 in just 26 minutes off the bench. San Antonio shot 54% from the field, committed just 12 turnovers against OKC's ferocious defense, and held the Thunder to 38% shooting. We knew the Spurs would be better than last season, but this has been one of the most pleasant surprises of the entire year, and one the rest of the league is officially being forced to take seriously. And if the top of the West looks mostly as expected, the team sitting at number 1 in the East, that part definitely wasn't. Be honest, did you have the Detroit Pistons pegged as the top team in the Eastern Conference before the season? Yeah, me neither. A huge reason Detroit is playing at this level is their composure when things go sideways. This is a team that doesn't panic when it falls behind, and historically, that trait matters. Over the last 3 decades of play-by-play data, only 12 teams have ever finished a season with a winning record in games where they trailed by double digits. 8 of those teams, including last year's Thunder, went on to win the championship. 2 more made the finals. In other words, if you're consistently winning games you had no business winning, history says you're probably a real title team. And this season, right now, only 2 teams in the entire league have winning records after trailing by 10+ points. OKC is 1, and Detroit. They're 8-4, and the comeback in Boston alone gave the Pistons as many double-digit comeback wins as they had all of last season combined. That's elite company. And individually, Cade Cunningham has taken another leap. He's averaging 26.5 points, 6.3 rebounds, 9.6 assists, and 1.6 steals per game, all career highs. Cade already made a jump last season, but now he's pushing even further. If Detroit keeps this up, there's no reason he shouldn't be in the MVP conversation. Now, let's shift from the best team in the East to the team many people expected to be there. Only instead, they're stuck in the play-in zone, and it looks like they're running in quicksand. Last season, Cleveland ran away with the conference. They opened 15-0, ripped off 2 more 12-0 stretches, won 64 games, posted one of the most efficient offenses we've ever seen. And then the Pacers ran them off the floor in the second round of the playoffs. And Cleveland hasn't looked the same since. They're currently outside the top 6, and while injuries have played a role, they don't tell the full story. Yes, Darius Garland has been dealing with a recurring toe issue. Yes, Jared Allen and Max Strus have missed time, and now Evan Mobley is out. But Cleveland has had Mitchell, Mobley, and Garland for most of the season. So, what's going on? The offense has completely fallen off. They've gone from the second-best shooting team last year to the 22nd this year in overall field goal percentage, three-point percentage, free throws, you name it. Their team effective field goal percentage has taken a hit from best in the NBA last season to below average now. Is it bad luck? Maybe. Their three-point percentage and wide-open three-point percentage have dropped significantly. Either last year was unusually hot, or this year has swung hard the other way. Cleveland is actually generating more points off turnovers, second-chance opportunities, and fast breaks, but their points in the paint are down. And overall, they just can't make shots. But that doesn't apply to Donovan Mitchell. His scoring is up, his true shooting is up, but so is his usage rate. He's been flat out better. Defensively, Cleveland has slipped from top 10 closer to the middle of the pack. Not catastrophic, but noticeable. Sometimes basketball really is this simple. You either make shots or you don't. And with people already starting to whisper about Coach Atkinson feeling some heat, if the Cavs don't start converting, those whispers might get louder, fast. Now, back to an Eastern powerhouse catching its rhythm. There won't be a banner hanging in Madison Square Garden for it, but make no mistake, the Knicks just won their first trophy since the 70s. And this wasn't some fluke. Legitimate title contenders went after the NBA Cup. The Spurs dismantled the Lakers and the Thunder on their way to the finals. And yet, the Knicks still came out on top. Winning the NBA Cup was a statement. It announced that New York firmly belongs in the championship conversation this season. Right now, only the defending champion Thunder and the Nuggets sit ahead of them in the power rankings. And if the Knicks' second unit keeps playing at this level, they can absolutely compete with both. Here's the biggest difference. From last season, back then, it was Jalen Brunson or bust. During this cup run, Brunson still earned MVP honors, but he didn't have to do everything himself. OG Anunoby led the team in scoring in the final. Mitchell Robinson vacuumed up every offensive rebound. Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson, and Tyler Kolek all made key plays down the stretch. That depth simply didn't exist a year ago, and now it does. And under new head coach Mike Brown, it's starting to click. It's still a long season, but after a rocky start, the Knicks have stabilized and sit second in the Eastern Conference. And if this trajectory holds, a return to the Eastern Conference Finals, and maybe more, is absolutely on the table. Another supposed Eastern contender that made a drastic offseason move? Yeah, not quite the same story. The Bucks entered the season believing that as long as Giannis and Chris Middleton were on the roster, they could stay dangerous in the East. But here's the problem. Giannis has been dealing with an injury of his own. And even beyond that, how much longer is he really going to be in Milwaukee? An early December report revealed that Giannis and his agent have been having conversations with the Bucks about his future, including whether his best fit is still in Milwaukee or somewhere else. Coming into the season, Giannis bought into the vision laid out by the front office and Doc Rivers. The plan was simple: evaluate the first 25 games and see if the Bucks look like real contenders. More than a third of the way into the season, it hasn't gone well. Milwaukee opened 13-18, looked like a bottom-tier team without Giannis, and their big off-season acquisition, Miles Turner, hasn't moved the needle much. Giannis recently told reporters he's locked in on getting healthy and said he can't control reports about his future, which is about as committal as he's been in a while. But if the Bucks keep sliding and the losses pile up, does Giannis eventually get restless? Does he finally confront management and ask for a trade? That storyline isn't going anywhere. From one team paralyzed by what might happen to another that acted and started winning after a nightmare start. After the firing of Willie Green, the Pelicans suddenly returned to life under interim head coach James Borrego. They rattled off 5 straight wins, their first 5-game win streak since 2023. They've cooled since, dropping their last 3. But the turnaround under Borrego has been real. The Pelicans have leaned fully into youth. Jeremiah Fears is running the point. Derek Queen has taken over at center. And both have flashed exactly why the organization is so high on them. Zion has thrived since returning from injury. Jordan Poole is back in microwave mode. Trey Murphy has embraced being a go-to wing. And Sadiq Bey has been an excellent reclamation project. New Orleans may be without their 2026 first-round pick due to a risky draft day trade. But if this core keeps developing, that pick might not sting as much as people thought. And speaking of youngsters playing well, and not just the number 1 pick, although he's been truly ridiculous lately, the entire lottery is already packed with real difference makers. And it starts with Cooper Flagg. After a rocky beginning in a role that didn't quite fit, Flagg has clearly found his footing. And here's a milestone that isn't just a youngest this or that footnote. His 42-point game in an overtime loss in Utah came in his 26th NBA appearance. Faster than legends like Elgin Baylor, Larry Bird, Allen Iverson, and LeBron James reached their first 40-point night. The only players who did it quicker: Oscar Robertson, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Wilt Chamberlain. Since Thanksgiving, Flagg has become the youngest player in NBA history to record double-digit assists in a game log, a 35-point performance post, a 40-point game. Oh, and he became the first rookie this century to put up 27-plus points, 5-plus rebounds, and 5-plus assists on Christmas Day. Flagg's breakout has pushed fellow Duke product Con neck down to number 2 in the rookie rankings, but he's still been outstanding. Necht needed just 29 games to reach 100 career three-pointers, obliterating the previous fastest mark. The previous record holders, Lauri Markkanen, did it in 41 games. Keegan Murray and Luka Doncic needed 42. Taken number 4 overall by the Hornets, Knecht has been a bright spot despite the team's struggles. He's averaging 19.4 points per game, shooting 42% from 3 and 47% overall, while adding 5.2 rebounds and 3.5 assists. Charlotte may be living in the East basement again, but Knecht has absolutely delivered. VJ Edgecombe remains firmly in the Rookie of the Year conversation, and for good reason. The 3rd overall pick by Philadelphia has quietly turned consistent production into real on-court impact. He's gone from a name on a rookie ladder to a key contributor on a competitive Sixers team. Edgecombe hasn't just put up good numbers, he's stepped up when it matters. He dropped 22 and 26 points in games where Tyrese Maxey missed time, helping keep Philadelphia afloat. Night after night, he's making winning plays, not just filling box scores. Another rookie flying under the radar, partly because he plays in New Orleans, partly because of the puzzling offseason trade, is Derek Queen. And yes, Derek Queen can absolutely play. He's the fastest center in 50 years to reach 100 assists. And his October 10th, 2033 triple-double against San Antonio made him the first rookie since Michael Jordan to lead a game in points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. He's already posted 30-point games, triple-doubles, and showcased legit point center skills. As the Pelicans get healthier and figure out how the young core fits with the veterans, Queen's impact is becoming impossible to ignore. And then there's Dylan Harper, who hasn't looked like a typical rookie from the jump. After missing a few games to open the season, there was no adjustment period once he hit the floor. He's played with a calm, controlled pace well beyond his years, attacking gaps, getting downhill, finishing through contact. San Antonio hasn't overloaded him with responsibility, and it's paid off. Harper's reads out of the pick and roll have been advanced. His slashing has been decisive, and when defenses collapse, he consistently makes the right play instead of forcing the issue. What stood out just as much is how seamlessly he's fit alongside Stephon, Castle, and De'Aaron Fox. Despite being the number 2 pick, Harper hasn't come in demanding touches or trying to dominate the ball. He's been comfortable working off the ball, cutting, spacing, defending, letting the game come to him. For a rookie with his profile, that level of poise is rare. Harper plays within the flow, carries himself like a veteran, and looks focused on winning basketball, not chasing moments. And that's a big reason the Spurs look so far ahead of schedule. Now, from feel-good rookie stories to something far less positive, and honestly, something that felt inevitable. This probably should have happened the moment Nico Harrison proposed a historic trade sending Luka Doncic to the Lakers. But it didn't. Then came strike 2, trading productive Quentin Grimes for an often injured Caleb Martin, who barely saw the floor. Still, Harrison survived. There were also bizarre press conferences, including the one where landing Cooper Flagg via a 1.8% lottery chance was framed as the vision all along. At that point, the writing was already on the wall. Nico Harrison should have been shown the door no later than the offseason. Instead, it took a 3-8 start and overwhelming fan backlash for Dallas ownership to finally act on November 11. I never love rooting for someone to lose their job, but when you combine the absurdity of that Luka trade with how Luka is actually playing this season, in elite shape, commanding the locker room, putting up MVP-level performances, leading the league in scoring while adding nearly 9 rebounds and 9 assists per game. This firing wasn't a matter of if. It was always a matter of when. But let's not end on that note. Because this season, more than anything else, has been about elite players somehow getting even better. And another incredible head-to-head race for the NBA's biggest individual prize. We're past the 1/3 mark of the season, which makes this the perfect moment to reset the MVP picture. And right now, it looks like Nikola Jokic might be pulling ahead. Last season gave us round 1 of this duel between Jokic and reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This season, both guys cranked it up another level. But after Jokic's historic Christmas Day performance, 56 points, 16 rebounds, and 15 assists in an overtime win against Minnesota, it looks like he's starting to create some separation. Meanwhile, OKC has shown some cracks lately. The Thunder have dropped games to Western Conference contenders and lost 3 times to the surging Spurs. Suddenly, that wins record chase doesn't feel quite as inevitable. Don't get it twisted, SGA is still putting up absurd numbers. He's averaging 32.5 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 6.6 assists per game, while shooting over 55% from the field and 43% from 3. By far the best shooting season of his career. He's nearly averaging as many points per game as minutes per game, and he's been the clear engine of OKC's offense, even with Jalen Williams missing the first 19 games. But Jokic, he's just averaging another triple-double, only this time, he's also leading the league in rebounds expected for a center and assists, which is completely insane, and for good measure, he's adding nearly 30 points per game on top of it. He remains an on-off monster. The Nuggets are 12.5 points per 100 possessions with him on the floor. The difference this year, Denver has actually survived his minutes off the court, going from -805 last season to slightly positive when he sits. But that doesn't weaken Jokic's case. If anything, it highlights how absurd his impact still is. Denver is going into the post-Christmas slate 2 games clear in 3rd in the West, firmly on pace for a strong season. And that Christmas Day masterpiece? That's the kind of signature moment that sticks with voters. The big question is whether Nikola and the Nuggets can rack up enough wins to truly challenge OKC at the top of the standings. Because if they do, and Jokic averages another triple-double, we're looking at yet another MVP race that could come down to the wire. That's the 2025-26 season so far. Historic starts, shocking collapses, a loaded rookie class, and an MVP race that's already must-watch. We're a bit more than a third of the way through, and it already feels like we've gotten a full season's worth of storylines The question now is, which of these trends holds up? Do the Pistons stay at the top? Does Cleveland figure it out? Does Giannis get traded? And who actually wins MVP when it's all said and done? We've got a lot of basketball left, and if you want a deeper dive on any of these teams or players, whether it's Flag's Rookie of the Year case or the Knicks championship potential, check out one of these videos on your screen now. I've got you covered.